my worst enemy, the flesh that's covering me, brings me down to my knees.
Welcome to Sermons in the Park, a ministry exploring biblical truth from the Word of God, focusing on the truths that help us in our daily walk with Christ in every aspect of our lives. Now, here is your Reverend, Jamie McCaskill.
Hello, brothers and sisters, and welcome back to an all-new Sermons in the Park. As always, I am your Reverend Jamie McCaskill. This will be your second episode today on this beautiful Sunday, May the 6th. I'm sorry, May the 5th. I don't know why I said May the 6th. But this will be going up for May the 5th evening sermon. So you already know how several times here on Sermons in the Park we've talked about the end times. So let's just say it. We talk about it a lot here because, well, we're living in those end times. And if you follow me over on Spotify or Pandora or wherever for the podcast, you've in the past heard me discuss Islam quite a few times, actually. If not, and you want to know more, I really suggest you go over there and check it out, because on the podcast we have discussed a lot of things that we have not talked about here on the YouTube, BitChute, Rumble. So let's do what we usually do. Let's try to answer some questions today. Like, does the Bible mention the ancestors of Islam? Who is the prophesied king of the north and who is the king of the south? How does this religion, meaning Islam, which was founded by Muhammad, how do they play a role in end times prophecy? So first, let's get this out of the way. Let me explain to you, for those of you who don't know, and if you don't, I'd be surprised, what is Islam? Well, Islam is a religion that was started by Muhammad with the Arabs, right? And as we all know, the Arabs are related to Israel because of the child that was born from Abraham through his wife Sarah's handmaid named Hagar. And if you follow Sermons in the Park long enough, you know that once Hagar got pregnant, right, even though she had permission from Sarah to get pregnant, once she became pregnant, it just made her life miserable. It actually got so bad that Hagar had to flee into the desert. And while she was there, an angel of the Lord was sent to her and gave her a prophecy regarding her son Ishmael. Read with me Genesis chapter 16. We're going to read verses 11 and 12. It says, "And the angel of the Lord said unto her," meaning Hagar, "Behold, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and shalt call his name Ishmael, because the Lord hath heard thy affliction, and he will be a wild man," meaning Ishmael. "His hand will be against every man, and every man's hand against him, and he shall dwell in the presence of his brethren." And we know that God appears to Abraham later, when Ishmael is 13, and God offers Abraham a prophecy about Ishmael. We read where God promises Abraham that Ishmael, who we need to remember, that's where Islam claims its roots go back to. God promises Abraham that Ishmael will be the father of 12 princes and that they'll become a great nation. We're going to read that in Genesis chapter 17, verse 20. "And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him, and will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. 12 princes shall he beget, and I will make him a great nation. And we did a whole episode on that over on the podcast, about Ishmael being a great nation. We also know that Ishmael did indeed have 12 sons, or as the Lord calls them, princes. We can read that over in Genesis chapter 25. We're going to read verses 12 to 18. Now these are the generations of Ishmael, Abraham's son, whom Hagar the Egyptian, Sarah's handmaid, bare unto Abraham. And these are the names of the sons of Ishmael, by their names, according to their generations: the firstborn of Ishmael, Nebajoth, and Kedar, and I butchered these names last time, I'm going to do it again. Adbeel, and Mibsam, and Mishma, and Duma, and Massa, Hadar, and Tema, Jeter, Nephish, and Kedemah. These are the sons of Ishmael, and these are their names, by their towns, by their castles, 12 princes according to their nations. And these are the years of the life of Ishmael, 137 years. And he gave up the ghost and died, and was gathered unto his people, and they dwelt from Havilah unto Shur, that is before Egypt, as thou goest towards Assyria. And he died in the presence of his brethren. Now, as we read right there, they lived in the land that we now call Arabia. So they created the Arabic Empire, and Islam, the religion that came from these people, right? But you have to ask, are these people of Arabic origin who Islam came from? Are they mentioned in the Bible? In the book of Isaiah, we see Isaiah referred to people in Arabia as living in the land of Tinma. And then we get a prophecy of, as we read, the glory of Kedar falling. Now this is in Isaiah chapter 21, verses 13 to 17. It reads like this: the burden upon Arabia, and the forest in Arabia shall ye lodge, O ye traveling companies of Dedan. The inhabitants of the land of Tinma brought water to him that was thirsty. They prevented with their bread him that fled. For they fled from the swords, from the drawn sword, and from the bent bow, and from the grievousness of war. For thus hath the Lord said unto me, within a year, according to the years of a hireling, and all the glory of Kedar shall fall, and the residue of the numbers of archers, mighty men of the children of Kedar, shall be diminished, for the Lord God of Israel hath spoken it. I want you to try to remember something. Remember that list of descendants of Ishmael? Because two of his sons were named, Timma and Kedar. Now, I want you to also know this. According to some of the most trusted sources that I use, that would be the Easton Bible Dictionary and the Fawcett's Bible Dictionary, I found this. In the Easton Bible Dictionary, it says that Arabia is inhabited by the descendants of Esau. Well, we know they're called Edomites. The Fawcett's Bible Dictionary also adds this. It adds that the Ammonites and the Moabites, coming from Ammon and Moab, also settled here. And over time, what always happened. They began to do what? They began to intermarry and have children. They merged and became what we now know as Arabs. If you were to go and research the end times as much as I do, one of the books of the Bible that you're going to read a lot is Daniel. Now, specifically, what I want to look at today is chapter 11. There we see that it focuses on the end times. We read about two kings, a prophetic king of the north, and we also read of one from the south. Now, the final northern king, when you read it, is most likely some kind of a united kingdom, and they come from Europe. And they're led by one man. United kingdoms led by one man. And then we have that southern king. This is probably a kingdom that is a union of Islamic countries. And they'll appear before the return of Jesus. And there are those who are concerned about the resurgence of foundationalism, right? Or should I say fundamentalism in Islam, because you have the Shiites. Now, the Shiites are a sect of Islam, and they came about after Muhammad's son-in-law. What happened was he had a big fight, and he split from the ruling powers of his time. And they're ruled, the Shiites are ruled by a man who everybody likes to call an imam. And they believe that this imam is without error, that he is a manifestation of Allah. Now, this imam is the only man who they believe can reveal the true meaning of the Quran. These people are from Persian heritage, right? And they are the vast majority of the Muslims from Iran. Just keep that in mind. To a Muslim from their religion, right? From the view of a Muslim, their religion is a very real, very influential power. And they're focused on doing what? Governing the world. Their belief in jihad, which jihad means holy war, whether they will admit it to you or not, because they will lie to protect their religion, to protect their faith. Jihad is very much alive. Just put it this way. The Sunnis, they're somewhat moderate, okay? And by somewhat moderate, I do mean somewhat. The Sunnis dominate Saudi Arabia. But even this sect, this moderate sect of Islam, they're the ones that stone to death homosexuals and idolaters. But back to Daniel chapter 11. Based on what we read here in Daniel chapter 11, this king, he comes from the north, right? He'll enter into Palestine. And the ones that we read there that escape, we read are Moab, Edom, and Ammon. The ones who do not escape are Egypt and Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is a country that is dominated by people who are believers in Islam. They're not going to escape. Because you see, their wealth from oil is critical. It's critical to the European power because Europe imports almost all of the oil to do what? To fuel their economy. I want you to just look around you today and tell me that Islam does not affect all of us. You can't, can you? But I want you to see something. We all need to do what? We need to read the prophecies. We need to try to understand the sign of the times and make sure we do not ignore them. Because if we do nothing, we're going to see a whirlwind of disasters. Just look at what's going on in Israel right now. Understand that while people are out here begging for a ceasefire, it's because they do not understand the sword that Islam wields is never sheathed for very long. They will come back. They will attack again. Israel and Islam, they were under a ceasefire at the time that Islam attacked. Do you realize that? Oh, but what do I know, right? I'm just a preacher online who realizes we're living in the end times. And what's going on in Israel right now is important. We need to be watching. We need to be listening. Well, thank you all for joining me here. I pray the Lord continues to bless and keep you all. I hope to see you all back here soon. And I'd love to hear what you have to say. If you're over on Facebook, if you see this on Facebook, comment below. If you're over on YouTube and you're listening, comment below. I want to hear what you have to say about all this. I love you all. May the Lord bless you and keep you, and I'll see you all soon. God bless you.
You have been listening to Sermons in the Park with Reverend Jamie McCaskill. Be sure to follow us on YouTube, BitChute, and Rumble. And as always, thank you for listening.
There's joy for the morning, sinner be still. Earth has no sorrow, heaven can't heal. Earth has no sorrow, heaven can't heal. So lay down your